everyone, and welcome to another RPG Reanimators It's a Live Actual Play. This time, hopefully finishing From the Dust, run by Zander as our GM. And I'm wondering, Zander, do you want to give a GM recap or a player recap? We're going to get up to
We'll,
speed
we'll
here.
do GM recap because I got
Okay.
notes up. So last we left off, you had just come off of your meeting at the Rooted Beet vegan restaurant. Uh, you had gotten a little bit of information from Joe DeWant about some of the more sordid history of the Sidem family, uh, specifically that Robert Sidem and his wife were found murdered uh, after their after their marriage in a on a ship, and that Sidem's body was released to a strange group of sailors. Uh, Around that time, during 1920, various children went missing, which led to the raid of a church in Red Hook. You then chose to interview Noah Arajo, one of the two night workers that you could find, who told you some odd details, specifically a that all of the that one night they were chasing electrical equipment around the building, and and that all of the cords of the electrical equipment had been tied up into nooses. Um, they had also heard people talking around the house, and especially talking in their native language. Specifically, one was talking in Italian, and then later on, another one of the group in the another one of the construction workers mentioned that he was hearing things spoken in Portuguese. Um, you then decided to finally go to uh, the Garrettson mansion, uh, and you found yourself recepted warmly when you approached as law enforcement, looking into all of their missing tools and such. Um, and specifically had met Gomez, a sort of a younger Hispanic man who led you around to specifically a Unit 35 on the third floor, as he told you a few of the spooky stories of what he and others had experienced, and said that there was something especially fucked up with Unit 35. Um, you He then showed you a very strange panel on the wall that sort of folded out that had odd properties and led into a crawl space behind it. As you investigated that, Sybil was in the back car, was still in the van, keeping watch over this on security cameras. The other three began to experience some of the odd phenomenon, being led around the house by strange voices offering to take them inside, whatever that meant, and to show and referred and asked the group if they were witch hunters. After another odd event where upstairs, uh, Agent Mike, after checking some odd sounds in a chimney, uh, ended up seemingly losing control of his own thoughts and body for a moment. Meanwhile, Sybil in the van was also communicated with and seemingly threatened with a power tool. Um, Eventually, everyone sort of regrouped in the foyer of the building and started she started walking around and began to and determined that they were going to finish this up somehow tonight. That's about where we left off.
One of the last things that I recall was, Sybil grabbed her, um, grabbed that bag that she took from CMC, as well as her laptop, kind of shoved everything into it and bustled, as well as so last session you said that it was a handsaw, but then you said it was a power tool now. So is this actually a sawzall that was in the back of the trunk of the car? Because that's a lot more interesting to be throwing around.
I think I said it was a handsaw. Sorry, that was a slight mishap, but yes, it is a handsaw.
Okay, okay. All right, that's fine. Um, but so she bustled into the house. Kind of, we met with everyone in the lobby, talked about the next plan, and then we discussed going back outside to the cage where they were holding all of the tools, so that folks could grab things like hammers, pry bars, other tools and things that they may want to use in there. If that is the case, I did have an idea sort of between sessions. You've mentioned a few times that they have silent alarms that are placed and going off. What do these look like? Are these wired in? Are these remote and could be moved?
I they were sort of like those, they're like those little like taped ones that have like on like the interior doors. So like you like so they go off specifically like doors open. So I'm not
Okay.
sure the direct
But so they
how
wouldn't
those
have
all
like
those work, but yeah.
so they wouldn't have like motion detectors like you would find
No,
for
they don't
lights
like
and stuff
they
like
don't have
that.
like motion
Damn it. I
detectors
was going to
now.
try to like place those inside of the crawl spaces to let us know if something's crawling around in there. Okay, never mind then. To the tools.
Now, as we go to the tools, are we going to end up in those crawl spaces? I know when when you're hunting and you get a nest of something, you got to get rid of it. You got to get in there and burn it out. Is that what's going to happen?
Uh, you know, we're probably gonna end up in the crawl spaces.
Especially if they lead to some kind of extra rooms in the house. We only know the rooms that there are legitimate doors to, but if a mansion like this has crawl spaces that go between the walls, that's where they could be hiding the kids or their bodies at least. We
Well,
haven't we just don't know what's in here.
I'm thinking there's a nest there somewhere, and it ain't apparent. Otherwise, they would have seen it. We would have seen it. This ain't something I want to do, but
Should we see if
Yes.
we can grab some extension cords or ropes or something to at least tie each other off? That way we can keep track of where we're going. I don't want us to go in there and get lost.
it's a good idea.
It's a very good idea.
Maybe some
Yeah.
chalk to mark the walls.
I don't know. These little fuckers seem smart. It was enough that they popped the trunk to get me out of the car,
Yeah.
left something
Yeah.
there, and then my phone was broken. Also, I need to find a phone. But anyway, uh, if it's chalk, I think that they may wipe it off. If we use spray paint or something, then
Yeah.
that's going to
Yeah.
be a little more permanent, and maybe they can't cover that up as easily.
Okay, so what do we do when we find the nest? Burn it down? Do we need to take some terps, something flammable?
You don't think rat
Got a
poison
bag
would
we
do
can
it, would
fill
you?
up. I don't. I don't.
Being too hopeful.
I mean, I think we have firearms, right? Like,
How?
we're not going to be able to drag a bunch of stuff through these crawl spaces. Probably just what
No.
we can keep on us.
Yeah.
If we need to do something, we do to the whole building. I say. What
But the
good
whole
is
thing
it?
is, if the kids are in here and we burn this place down, what's been the point of all of this?
Yeah.
Yeah. We got to find
I
the
don't
kids.
disagree that
Yeah.
if
No, we're
we
definitely
find it,
going
we're
in
going to need to
first.
burn them out, smoke them out, or something.
We gotta figure out what exactly is going on.
So I thought we could maybe empty out my duffel and throw a few, whatever we want to take, and maybe, Sybil said, maybe put an extension cord and drag it along. behind our feet, as we sort of crawl down. Maybe there's something the tool shed. Keep on thinking of a chainsaw, something up close and personal, but that just seems ridiculous. But maybe
I
is
mean,
there
you can
something
get
to
cordless
generate a
circle
stick up?
saws. Just rip that bad boy up and shove it at the target.
Yeah, yeah, like an angle grinder with a nice cutter on it.
Yeah.
Something cordless.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And
Let's go shopping.
all right, so as you're sort of emerging, you sort of like push your way out of the front door and out into the yard where they had the like storage container set up where it looked like they'd been sort of locking away basically anything that wasn't directly stuck in in like the room it had to be in. Um, so you go over and you uh you know you probably need to like to get one of these open. You probably need to like get a key from probably like what the managers, the foreman's trailer over there. So you presumably go over there and start looking around for a key or something that'll fit that fits the padlock over there. Um, while we're over here, Mike, you had been asking before the session started. Why don't you make me a bureaucracy to see if you have roll to see if you were able to get your big toy into your bag
Yeah,
and
sure.
yeah.
So in front of the cage, I start emptying out this duffel bag, and let's just see what I've got in there. So my bureaucracy, and this is to see whether we bought a shotgun. It's 40. He's all right. He can make the agency, work for him sometimes. 18, under 40.
18? All right, yeah. So as you're open, as you sort of unzip the duffel bag, you see that there is in fact a shotgun in the duffel bag.
Okay, well maybe
Turn it over, dump it out. Oh, hey, I forgot about that.
So maybe get a hacksaw, and once we get in there, and I can cut it down to size a bit. That's worthwhile. I'm actually not familiar with sawed-off shotguns. If that's that useful, do you think that would be? Do you think it'd be good enough in a small space?
It would certainly be more powerful very much up close, but
Fantastic. Okay,
depends
well I'll
on what
leave
you
it as
want.
it is then. So, but I'll pull that out, pull my pockets up with some shells. I turn to Sybil and say, "Are you armed?"
She kind of holds up the saw that was in the trunk of the car. Be like, I have pepper spray.
Um,
I work with
do you?
computers. I don't usually need guns.
Sure, I have a sidearm spare if you'd feel more comfortable with it.
Let's see, what is my? I have base firearms. So she's like, I think that may be better in your hands than mine,
Okay.
or one of the others would want to use it. Let's see.
Okay. Well,
And Luke, while this sort of is happening, you're Luke. You're the one who sort of eventually will, like, as you're searching around the trailer, you see there's this like you find like a ring of keys that presumably go into
Great.
the various padlocks around the place.
Yeah, I'll start shifting through them and then look through like any cabinet or place where they're storing tools. And I mean, I'm just gonna look for like like a crowbar or something. I don't need anything heavy.
I have like 40 in firearms, and I was assuming I just kind of had like just a sidearm.
Yeah, if you got like a 40, you can have like a
Yeah.
small, like a handgun at least.
Yeah. I think specifically something that we wanted to make sure that we looked for were some extension cords to like tie each other off, like
Mhm.
so we could if we go through the crawl spaces, we can make sure we're still connected.
Yeah.
Go
If
around corners
we
and
could be
stuff.
lucky enough that someone had a tool belt or something, then just potentially snagging some of those. I'm right there with Luke that Sybil's unarmed combat is higher than anything else. She's been taking some judo classes, but so just anything that she could use potentially in a brawling kind of respect, she'd be
Mhm.
looking for like a mini sledge and a pry bar, mostly thinking about opening up the panels when we find them. Also, grabbing some handfuls of screws and nails to throw behind us, as these things seem to have pretty large, long feet. If there's a way we could try and slow them down behind us. And then some spray paint and extension cords, if possible, to mark our trails.
Yeah. So as you all you'll eventually leave like the foreman's trailer, you go back out to that the big like metal storage unit, and you can unlock it with one of the keys that you found, and you open the door, and yeah, it is a cornucopia of anything you can imagine on a construction site. So anything, all those things you just listed, you got it.
Hell yeah. As a question, then, would they have walkie-talkies?
Do they have a walkies? Say they can have they've got walkies, yeah.
There's probably a charging station in the main office, and we
That's
could
what I was
That would
thinking.
make
As you were
sense.
describing
Yeah,
the
yeah.
foreman station, I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully they would have some walkies we can more easily stay in touch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
pass them
So
out.
cornucopia, I'm thinking C4 and a couple of landmines. No?
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Not quite. It's a storage unit for a construction site, not a green box.
So I build a claymore.
Yeah, so but something flammable like some paint cleaners, some thinners, some
Yeah, sure.
turpentine, and does anyone smoke here? Got something to light it up?
She just
Yeah,
pulls
I
on
have
her
a lighter.
vape again.
Okay.
I have a lighter.
Okay, great. So I'll get a couple of tins, make sure they're nice and tightly turned, make sure they're tins and not bottles, and then put them in the duffel. And a short extension cord, like just a small one, just for tying something off. And maybe a screwdriver for last resort, stick it in his belt.
You know what? Can I like just make sure that I can find like a first aid kit or something? Just a small first aid type kit.
Yeah, presumably they would have one. They would have multiple on site. If not in like the trailer here, then in the foreman's office.
Yeah,
And if not, you can find duct
like
tape.
I like brought something,
Mhm.
or duct tape. Yeah, that works too.
Yeah, you can get a first aid kit. As you are all sort of like packing up here, let's say that it's Arthur. You are sort of the last one out of the storage unit, and and then you sort of like you sort of like turn back around to like shut the door so Luke can lock it, and you see peering out from the storage unit, there are 2 sets of those beady little glowing eyes hanging out from you.
Did you say they were peering out from the storage unit,
Yes.
as in the one that we were just coming out of?
Yeah.
Oh God, they're in there. I think I'm just gonna like. Am I able to just shut it? Like, how close am I? Yeah, like am I?
Yeah.
I'm like right up on it, right?
Yeah, you could just everywhere else you just hear like they're in there, and then a giant metal slam.
Yeah, I'm just shutting it and like latching it. A little latch on or whatever.
Was it closed when we?
Yeah, you have to like go up and unlock it.
Man,
There's entrances everywhere. Or these damn things that go through walls. They just like phase through things. What is this, like the X-Men? Come on.
Nightcrawlers.
This is like a sci-fi movie I saw. It was awful.
Can I make a sanity roll? Because I don't know if Sybil would make this connection in her right mind.
Sure. Yeah,
Okay.
give me a sand roll.
That is the one time I'm glad to roll an 86. Okay. Wait. You just said that they were in, like, we were just in there after we left. You saw them looking out from the dark, right?
Yeah.
Luke, whenever you went into the bathroom, the door slammed and you were in the dark, right? That's
Yeah.
whenever you saw the one behind you.
And it spoke to me before that. Yeah.
You, one of you said Nightcrawler. What like, this isn't the same as X-Men, but what if they need the dark to move?
Hmm.
It's not a case of shutting them in. It's not a case of them going like sneaking into the place, but they can maybe kind of just, I don't know. This sounds insane, but these are fucking monkeys that are attacking us with power tools. So at this point, maybe they're teleporting monkeys that are attacking us with power tools.
So teleporting darkness monkeys.
So what do you suggest? That we should all wear headlamps? Make sure we are carrying flashlights? What?
Maybe, yeah. If we can
Yeah.
find if they have some mag lights, if they have any kind of headlamps, but just setting up lights behind us to be sure that they can't just, because all those crawl spaces are dark. If they can
Oh, God.
just move from one to the next, then maybe that's a way that we can stop them from following us as easily. They would need to do it manually.
When I'm doing some work around the house, we have these portable work lights that are now chargeable.
Yeah.
Now he flashes his light back into the containment area. Do we see anything in there once we flash a light in there? Do we see space
Okay, so
monkey?
do you want to open it back up?
No, I assume it's a cage. Can we shine through the
No,
cage?
this is like a big one of those like big like metals like corrugated
shed.
metal like
Yeah, shit. Yeah, it's a
Right.
good theory. It's a good theory. I'd
Yeah.
love to let's
like
test-
it's not like
test it out
it's not
with-
like a cage. It's like one of those like big like metal box,
Yeah.
metal box.
Like a storage container.
Yeah,
Right?
like
bring up your lights. Hold up your lights, and let's throw.
How
you,
about I open it while you guys keep your guns trained on it
Yeah.
in case it comes out at
Okay,
us?
so pistol, light.
Then,
And
then I'll
Ladies
swing
walking
it
her
open.
dog on the sidewalk, seeing all this happen, just pointedly looking crossing the street the other way.
you
Just shakes her head and keeps walking.
Ducks
New
under
York.
fire.
you slam the door back open and you like bright lights as in the container, and you're like flashing them or you're like shining them around in there, and you don't see anything, but you do hear. So is this what you desire?
Desire what? We desire to find children.
Go inside. Arthur, I think this is your first time hearing the voices.
sanity roll?
Yep.
I was assuming. 25.
All right. You don't lose any.
Go
Speak-
inside the
Go
darkness.
inside. This
What are
is-
you afraid of? Come out into light. Come on, talk to us like reasonable beings. Come on, we won't bite. Come on.
They probably will.
Mike, you feel a tug on the back of your pants.
Okay, unadvisedly. I mean, I kept turning my eyes away from the shed and look down. I'm still pointing the light at the shed and the gun at the
Mike?
shed.
Roll sand real hard.
See, it doesn't work when it counts, right? So that's 84 over 59.
All right. So you look down, and at first you can't tell if it is a monkey, a rat, or a raccoon. It's about 4 feet long. It has shaggy, awful black fur, and it looks up at you with the face of an ancient crone, a old woman's face, and it gives you a cracked tooth grin and says, "Here I am in the light." And then it starts to scurry off. So
Okay, so
that is for Sam.
yep. Okay. My breaking point is, I know I've still got a lot of space. It's good. So I swing and I yell out to my peers to keep a light in this shed, and I swing my light and I'm about to fire, but then I realize we're out in public. I'm sort of just trying to track it with the light.
You
And
can kind of
there,
see it.
look, look,
You can
look,
kind of
look.
see it moving through the grass, but at a point as you're following with your gun, if you don't like immediately shoot, you eventually lose it
Yeah,
at
no,
some point.
I hold back from firing, but I'm trying to say, Sybil, I don't think your theory is correct, but
Yeah,
I'm sure
so
the oh,
the rest of you sort of turn around and you sort of catch like the back end of it, so you just see like the black fur before it sort of disappears into the grass and eventually around the corner.
Xander, I'm trying to get so it's like 4 feet long, right?
Mm-hmm.
About how tall? It's on four legs, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, you
Uh,
guess it's probably like, yeah, if it's like 4 feet long, it'd probably be like about foot or so tall, maybe. It's a it's a pretty, it's like the size of like a, you know, mid-sized dog about.
I see.
dog, monkey, old woman that can talk.
Did we hear it when it said "Here I am," and was that just Mike?
Like you were the one who heard that.
All right, so Mike's going, did you hear it? Did you see it? And his heart's racing. He's trying, well, he's trying to keep it together, but he didn't. Obviously, you can see that he's obviously disturbed. He said, there, in the grass. You didn't hear that? It spoke to me. It grabbed me. Tugged to my pants like it was fooling us, messing with us. I said, come on out, and it did. You didn't see it? It was right behind me.
I didn't see it or hear it. And I'll look behind him and see if I can see anything.
As you're also on the other side of the, like, looking back at that, like at the grass. At this point, the grass is still whatever was there. But as you're all turned around, you do hear against the metal behind you.
Okay. Yeah, obviously gonna look and see if I can see what's hitting the metal.
You turn back around. There's nothing in the storage unit.
Okay.
You,
So
sorry, like,
it's asking us if we want to go inside. What do we think inside is? Do you think it's the crawl space?
I think it'll become apparent once we go back into the house.
Okay.
I'm I'm pretty sure there was something was said when we first saw the crawl space, I believe.
I mean, when it
I
talked to
think that
me, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no, you're good. Go continue.
When it talked to me, it was wondering if I was a witch hunter and, um, like, and then asked if we were witches. So maybe we next time, and I'm trying to say this quietly, next time we encounter them, we ask it to see the witch or to bring us to the witch. That way we can figure out maybe that's where the children are.
which is definitely yeah, they take children. So yeah, that's a good theory.
And I thought that shit was made up. So, but here we are.
I would have thought teleporting, talking old man monkeys would have been made up too. So just kind of rolling with the punches as they come at this point.
Yeah, I think it was a woman monkey, but you're right.
You know, it does make sense that it should be some kind of like
Familiar
witchcrafty
something?
ritual. Yeah, yeah. These creatures. You said what did it look like?
Like a small bear or big dog raccoon thing, but more like a monkey with actual hands to grasp and like an like an old woman's face, like a witch. You know, I don't want to like
The
some
one
sort
I
of
saw on the camera looked like an old man. That the face looks human-ish. Maybe as much as they talk and as much as they're understanding while we're talking, they I don't know if we're talking about witches. Fucking turn them into I don't know.
There's
I
always
have
going to end this way. We're going to have to get in those crawl spaces.
Yep.
And I suggest Sybil made an excellent suggestion. Let's get some powered lights and take them with us. I mean, even if they don't scare them away, we'll be able to see what's gonna, you know,
Yep.
coming for us. At least we might have a chance of shooting. And I'm sure they've got some rechargeable lights in there and a few more small mag lights to carry if we haven't all got some.
yeah. I think let's just
Yeah.
stock up
Like
on lights and get in there.
just as many work lights, the portable ones with the stands that we can set up to douse an area if we need to. Is that
I
possible,
have like
Zander? Oh, sorry.
I have like 30 in a cult, and I was kind of thinking like that Arthur would be able to put together kind of this idea that um, the new moon and you know rituals and witchcraft and like Sybil said familiars, and it just seems to make sense to him.
Yeah. Totally.
I'm thinking
Yeah, I'll duct tape a flashlight to my crowbar too. So
Ooh, good
Jeez.
idea.
Half-Life
idea.
would never.
I'll do the same with a shotgun, get a small mag light and
Mhm.
duct tape it to the front of it. Great idea, Luke. It's very clever.
I think I've got a headlamp because I don't want to.
They want us
I
to
need
come
both
in.
hands for the gun.
They want us to come in. I knew it done. We'd be going in there. But let's go in.
let's do it. Do you want to
Okay.
go back to room? Was it 303?
35.
Or you all mentioned there was an organ that we couldn't find on the first floor, but it seemed to be coming from below us. Do we want to try to open that panel we found on the ground floor and see if it leads down?
I will note you have not found a panel on the ground floor. You found.
Oh, I thought we did.
You
Okay.
felt you've heard more crawl spaces around on the ground floor, but while you're sort of knocking on the walls, we haven't found a second panel.
Oh, okay. I assumed it like if we heard a crawl space, like I'm just going to take a crowbar and pry that
Yeah,
bad
you
boy
can certainly
up.
try that. Yeah.
Now, can I just confirm before we go in the crawl space? We've done all the levels. We've looked at 4, 3, 2, 1. Was there a basement on
You've done
the
that
plan?
point. You haven't seen like a basement entrance. If there is one.
Yeah.
Now.
And I know we haven't thoroughly done each level, but we've at least visited 4, right?
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you would know from like you've looked at like the proposed building plans and stuff, and there is no basement as far as you're aware.
Gosh darn it. We have to go in those tunnels. I knew it was going to end this way.
Real quick, I don't remember if we had attempted to see if there was any way to know what like recognize those symbols that were on the door. Like, is that something like an occult roll would allow? Like, is this like a The ones that I took the rubbing of.
Yeah, so you're sort of looking at the rubbing there, as you're all sort of you're all sort of moving through the house now. It seems like sort of apart. So are you trying? So you're gonna try to like? So is the plan to like rip apart part of the wall to get inside, or do you want to go back up to 35 to get inside the wall space? That's our up to the four of you. And I'll answer your question in a second.
I'm not opposed. I think that it might be a good idea to enter through
The creepy room.
the creepy room, the entrance that is an actual entrance.
That weird panel's there too, so we can take another glance at it on our way in. So
Yeah,
Can we rip it open permanently? So
I don't mind destroying it. Yeah,
That was my
good
thought.
idea.
I'd hate for them to close the door behind us and we get locked in.
yeah.
So if that's the plan, then you start creeping up the stairs
Mhm.
to unit 35. And you're sort of like looking and you're sort of looking over the like your rubbing of the symbols, Arthur. And I need you to make me a power roll.
How? Let's see. 65. So I rolled an 80.
So, Arthur, as you sort of are looking at the rubbing, the rest of you, and at this point, you sort of hit the door for Unit 35. You begin to, you push open the door. Arthur, like, sort of walks up to, like, sort of puts down the sort of rubbing of the paper sort of on the floor, and then walks up to the panel. And I believe you had left the panel open, so you start and Arthur takes his finger and starts to trace the sort of weird invisible sort of carvings that don't like you can't see them because of the Vanta black paint, but Arthur seems to know exactly where they are and he's tracing them with his finger. And then the other three of you need to roll same.
Arthur, what are you doing? Oh my God, what are you doing?
Oh, 55. That's either very good or very bad. Very good. Okay, great.
20 under 54.
100 over
Nice.
0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0.
Mike's not
All
doing too
right.
hot.
Mike, you lose 4. The other 2 of you lose 1. As you see Arthur's hand slips into the black of the space of the on the back of the panel, and then the rest of him goes with it.
The whole of him, we can't dive to grab him. Well, I tried to dive to grab him anyway.
Like you tried to grab him, and like it's like he like is yanked in.
Arthur, and maybe that's where the sand loss comes from. Like he just slips out of my grasp, and Mike just starts banging at the panel. Now he paid particular attention to how the worker sort of opened it up earlier when he was showing us how interesting it was, but he's lost it. He's sort of just banging at the panel right now. He's just banging, get the crowbar, like it's he's gone. Like just we've got to get in there.
Sybil is just blanched white as a sheet, slowly raises her vape. Don't touch that panel.
Well, we got to go after him, right? Like, he was messing with these symbols. And then I'll go touch the symbols to see if I can see anything or, yeah.
You sort of push past Sybil, telling you to stop. You essentially also have to push back Mike, who is just banging against it. So it sounds like
Yeah,
Luke, you're
look, I did watch how they did it last time, so maybe, if you want to open it up, Luke, I'm certainly for that. Like, I think he did this and I think he did that, and then it somehow opened up. That's what he did last time.
I mean, if we break it, he might get stuck behind there. So we should definitely try that. And then whatever you tell me, Mike, I'll try to do.
So Luke, it sounds like you're also going to like you have to sort of feel around for them. It's not you don't have that like instinctual knowledge that Arthur seemed to have, but
Yeah.
you can eventually sort of find the line, start tracing them
I
in
get ready
the
to hit him.
in the direction that Mike is sort of directing you towards.
Okay.
And then Luke, you
Yeah.
and now that the other two of you are like looking directly at it, it's like the perspective is wrong. Like it looks like Luke goes flat as
Yeah.
he enters. And then Luke is gone.
Welcome to the party.
Okay. I always knew it would go this way. So who's left? Sybil,
Yeah,
myself.
Sybil and you.
Okay, Sybil, got to go in there after them. Do you want to stay out here? Use that cable.
You want me to
I'll
tie an extension cord to you in case I can pull you out from falling into a fucking portal on the back of a board?
No, let's tie off one of the extension cords somewhere. I assume it's on one of those roundy things, that you can run in with. I'll take it in with me, and we'll just use this way to find our way back.
Right. And she
Um,
just kind of slowly stalks off to get an extension cord, struggling to process.
Yeah, I will take the short extension cord, tie it to my bag, and then tie that to my waistband. So, Xander, there was a way that they opened it up, not slipped through it. Remember, the worker showed us how to undo the. Can I replicate that so it's open and not multi-dimensional?
It is open. Like it's like it like basically it's like it flips open and it like sets on the side of the side of the wall, like which it has like a crawl space open. So and that's sort of where you had left it. So like basically the only thing you could do with like the panel itself was like rip if you tried to like rip it off the mechanism is like you like if you did anything with the panel you'd be folding back open or like closing it so the black side is towards the crawl space, not the outward wall.
So I will keep the gun in the bag, have the bag in my hand, start as tied to me, start tracing the symbol as best as I can from what I've seen, and I'm just shaking as I'm doing it because I've lost, maximum sanity from witnessing this. And I look back to Sybil to say, just tie it off, just tie it off.
Just tying it off, like tying it to a radiator or something that's in the wall.
And
I don't know like what's happened to us or where we are.
We'll get to everybody there inside in a second, but yeah.
I'm just waiting for Mike to fall through, and then Sybil's just going to be standing there alone.
So you hear Mike go, just tie it off, just tie it. As Mike, you will also enter whatever this is. And Sybil, you're now sort of alone in the room.
Yeah, I'm going to roll the sand for this against helplessness, just that they... Oh, yeah, that is a fail.
We'll keep that sand roll for this as you see, like you look up and there's like this chandelier, you hear like a little bit of skittering, and you look up and there's this chandelier light fixture above you, and you see one of these little human faces looking down at you and say, is it power? Or is it some misguided attempt to save what cannot be saved. You
She's
make up
looking
for a
up.
witch.
The vape drops out of her hand.
So with that said, I'll roll.
That is a 70 over 68.
You lose 5. Do you want to project?
Yes, I do. I'm going to project right onto Joe DeWan for getting me into this shit.
Seems appropriate.
All right. That's 3 off of that. 7, 2, 66. What do you want? Why are you stealing children? I just want to find the kids.
It sort of gestures to the panel.
What are you?
Doesn't matter. We do not
Fuck it.
want. We
Honestly,
want what they want. We want what she wants.
who is she? Soydum? Garrettson?
The mistress.
Out of character. Soydum had a mistress? Anyway, no. Fuck it. Trudges over. Squats down in front of the panel.
Everyone, roll 1d4.
Three.
3 as well.
Lose that much sand.
I hit a breaking point.
Can I project at this stage?
You can project, yeah.
Oh, actually, yeah, it's a good point. Maybe project until a cooler moment.
Yeah. I project on my mentor, Professor Green.
Joe, you motherfucker.
Yeah. Don't know what he did, but he's really pissing me off right now.
And everyone also lose 1 willpower.
Yeah.
As you all, as we'll start with Arthur. You're the first one in. You're not. You sort of like. It felt like a good idea at the time. It felt like your idea at the time. But then you realize that the last thing you remember consciously is looking down at that slip of paper. And now you're looking up and you are. It's dark. It is the only light is coming from your headlamp, and it barely pierces this pitch black in front of you. You try to get a sense of the walls, but it's stone. It's like black reflective glass, roughly hewn into the walls. It seems you can't quite tell if it's natural or not. There seem to be shapes in the walls that seem geometric but could be natural. And your light sort of bounces off, reflecting like it's like you're looking at obsidian. You're in just this tunnel.
Yeah. So I'm going to try to get an idea of like, see about like how big. So you said it's like a tunnel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if I look
here,
behind me, does it continue behind me too?
No, you see like the black glass. There is that, say you turn around, just a flat black wall that looks similar in texture, and you sort of feel it, and you can feel the symbols on that side as well.
I guess I'm gonna approach one of the side walls and like put my hand on it and walk forward. And I'm gonna try to walkie-talkie while I'm at it. Shh. Hello? Can anybody hear me? Is
We
anybody
can hear
there?
you.
Oh God. Who are you?
We are the favorite ones.
Favorite of who?
Come and see.
You got those kids? Are they still alive? I'm walking forward.
You walk forward, and it's you see. You look left. You look right. You find that the tunnel eventually comes to a split, a fork. And you just choose one at random and start to move down as you find that the floor is now stone steps, and you can see you start to see the formings of what looks like architecture, more less natural, more like architecture. You see you see a large archway with these crumbling plaster orange paint above. It looks almost like it looks sort of orthodox in its like a church in its construction as you continue into the black. Um, Luke, you are the next one in.
Yep.
You more consciously find yourself sort of like you like the weird sort of black space you're in sort of dissipates as you see like your as you sort of push forward your hand, and it suddenly is now more it it's like it you it's this weird break of the perspective where it was sort of flat and sideways, but now it sort of grows its depth again as you sort of fall onto the black stone ground.
Yeah, I imagine my first view looking up, going from like a flat two-dimensional like space to 3D again. I start to get a little like dizzy in the butt, slowly like stand up. Do I see Arthur walking in the distance, or is he gone now?
He's gone.
Arthur, Arthur. And then I'll shout if he doesn't hear me.
No one seems to respond.
Shit. Well, hopefully they follow me in. Uh, I'm just gonna stick around here and wait to see if they come through. I'm not gonna wander off yet.
Yeah, it is. You must wait there for like 10 minutes
Jeez.
before Mike, you sort of have that same sort of experience of being flattened and returning to your full self as you sort of crawl out of the black. You find yourself in the same space as Luke.
Okay. This is mighty disconcerting. Guy, he's certainly not happy about what's going on, but he does have enough wits about him to check the cable that we left behind. Is that now loose and slack? Has it been cut, or is it connected somehow back to where we were?
You see like the cord sort of like go flat, it's like trying to follow a straight line into the black that doesn't quite work. So like it sort of starts to jut off at various angles.
Yeah. And Mike's
It
Mike's
looks
just
way
looking
too
at
long
it,
from here. That is far longer than the cord that you tied.
and it starts to hurt his eyes, and he just I'm not sure if there's going to be any use. Um, and look, I think Sybil was following us, but she was sucking on that damn vape. I don't know. I think she panicked. Um, or she's the smartest one of us and didn't come in. Um,
We,
where's Arthur?
I don't know. I got through and he was gone, and I decided to wait here, and it took you like 10 minutes to come through. Is that how long it took you to
No,
push?
I dove in, as quickly as we could. We just tied off this cable. It's about 50. Sorry, I was going to say meters, but whatever it is in feet.
Yeah,
2,000 feet long.
it's a hell of a cord.
Yeah, and we know we came straight through. Like I wouldn't have left you there for 10 minutes.
Okay. So I guess we have to assume there's some sort of time dilation or time works a little differently here then. So we might be waiting here for a bit for Sybil, but I don't know where Arthur is.
Well, I think we should stay together.
Yeah.
Let's wait a minute for Sybil, and maybe while we're waiting, we look for signs. And I start sweeping my shotgun around with a torchlight on it, but I'm very careful. I don't have my hand on the trigger. I'd hate to be jolted by something and it goes off. I mean, my firearms training is reasonable. He's not a great shooter, but at least he's aware of safety. But I want to look for footprints and maybe grab one of those work lights out of the. Maybe she'll see this, or Arthur will see it, and I'll set one up and just make sure that we're highlighted and we can see around us, so something won't get the jump on us. And let's look for footprints while we're waiting.
There are no footprints. There's no dust here. It's all
Okay.
this shiny black.
I wish we gave him spray paint.
I mean, it's a straight haul. So like we just
Yeah.
walk the one way we can, and then hopefully we're
Yeah.
running into him.
Yeah.
So you're not waiting for Sybil?
Oh, no. I'm
Oh,
waiting for
wait.
Sybil. Yeah.
Okay.
And
So
Sybil.
it takes Sybil with the extra time spent talking about 20 minutes. And you and Sybil, you eventually crawl through as well.
Okay.
Oh, fuck. I left my vape in there.
I'll pull out a cigarette, hand it to you, and light it before you even say you don't want it for you. So,
Ha, joke's on you. I wasn't going to say that. She just. Tastes like shit. So, where's Arthur?
We couldn't see him, and it's been about 30 minutes, probably 40 for him since we've been in here. Time's just a little different here. So he could be anywhere. But we should get moving.
Yeah. But
She'll-
best to stay together as much as we can.
She'll grab some spray paint from her tool belt and paint an X on the floor where we're standing.
Okay.
Does it leave an impression? Is there some kind of weird fuckery going on?
It, like, you see that, like, the paint sort of, like, it does, like, the floor is mostly flat, so it does leave an X. Yeah.
Maybe an arrow in the way that we're going or gone, so we can
Oh,
know which
good
way
call.
down.
Okay.
Okay, let's go find Arthur. Let's go find this nest of monkey, bear, witch things, and
There's something else down here. They talked about their mistress. So that's the witch. But just
Which,
whatever that
Yeah.
means.
Okay.
flying
After you.
monkeys and wizards and witches.
Yep.
Too bad this isn't a yellow brick road.
It's too dark to tell. It could be yellow.
You look down into the darkness, and the three of you begin to walk. Arthur, give me an int times 5.
Int times 5.
Yes.
Success.
Okay. So, how are you trying to navigate this space?
I think so. He's got his flashlight. He's
Mhm.
mostly gonna keep. I think he's just gonna like keep one hand on like the right wall or the left wall, and just use his lamp to, he's keeping track of his feet. He's keeping track of. He wants to keep track of forward, and he kind of wants to keep an eye on the other wall too, just so he can kind of note where
Yeah,
it
you're.
may like
Yeah, makes sense. You
branch.
this space, like, it changes in size. Some of these spots, it is like you. There are some of these tunnels that are like wide open, maybe 10 feet, like 10 feet wide. Sometimes they shrink and narrow to the point where you have to crawl on your hands and knees. It's a You're just trying to keep your hand on the wall to keep some sort of sense of space. And
I have a little bit of science physics, like 30
Mhm.
points in it. Does it feel like it, like the way that does it make sense? Does it seem to be normal as far as, like does it seem to be like basically following rules of construction and stuff?
you really can't tell.
Okay.
Like, you would have to be mapping it in your head. Like, it's sort of cave like in the way that caves can seemingly like grow and shrink at sort of will. It's and
Gotcha.
you don't know if you're doubling back. You don't know if you're like crossing spaces. It's just and just like your light, even this like big headlamp, just barely pushes through any of this pitch black around you. It's almost like black fog more than darkness.
I'm gonna
But
try the walkie-talkie again as well, just to make sure that it's not working.
you click it. There is this horrible shriek of broken machinery.
Turn it down all the way. And I guess I just continue forward. I'm just going to keep moving forward. I'm not going to sit still. Um,
You sort of occasionally, sort of from the other tunnels that you sort of, the ones you arbitrarily decide not to enter, sometimes you'll hear a little pitter patter on the floor until finally you hear you've been crawling around here for what must have been an hour, maybe longer. You hear, "So, what master do you serve?"
these goddamn allergies, but fucking bastard, really. No, I serve myself. Who are you? Where are you? Where's the sound? Where's the sound coming from?
Everywhere.
Everywhere. I serve myself.
Then you would make a fine witch.
Is that so? Show me.
Do you wish for power, influence, the safety of your loved ones? What is it you desire?
knowledge.
A fine witch indeed. And you hear in front of you the pitter patter, and then sort of coming out from one of these side tunnels, you see this black shape, this matted fur, and then its head turns to look at you, and you see this gnarled face of an ancient man. These strange cat-like eyes that reflect the light from your headlamp. And it raises a far too human hand and beckons you.
Gonna slowly shuffle forward and kind of like cover the lamp a little bit, just so only slivers of light are gonna go through, just to make it a little more comfortable.
It'll begin to lead you. The three of you, everyone make you an intelligence roll.
Intelligence.
Finally, my stuff. Does meeting it beat it here? So 75 of 75. All right.
Rolled a 93 over 85 intelligence.
Yeah, special agents, not that special.
Or very special, depending on.
Yes, extremely special.
So, Luke, you're ahead of the you're sort of like you sort of like found yourself in a role of leading the other two as you sort of. So, how are you trying to navigate this space, Luke?
Yeah, I mean, feeling the symbols on the doorway, I would probably be seeing if I can find something in the walls, like texturally, that can lead me deeper and rub on it a little bit to see, like, hey, is this like, are there runes or symbols this way? Or I would just listen. There has been organ music throughout, like, the house. And my assumption, because it's strange, it's coming from whatever this realm is. So I'd be like also listening for the faint sound of organ music.
And that's what you'll hear is as you're sort of like you find yourself at like this bend, you sort of like hold out your hand to the other two, and you listen, and then from one of the tunnels you hear, ba 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 ba.
Yeah, I'll say the air smells more foul this way and lead them to that tunnel.
I just have to say that despite your description, Xander, whenever you mention that you hear an organ go off, all I hear mentally is the Phantom of the Opera. Dun, 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 dun.
It's funny when he does that, I hear the first, or what is it? The Strange Encounters of the Third Kind, or whatever the Spielberg
Oh,
movie
yeah,
is, with the
yeah,
like doo 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 doo.
So in the background, Mike is just he's just muttering to himself, our Father, Lord in heaven, hallowed be thy name. He's just reiterating and just going, every soul is worth saving, every soul is, and just pushing himself further and further along, and trying to work this out in his mind that this is something, obviously unnatural, and he needs to get through it. Well, we all need to get through it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll keep following that sound and lead them closer to it.
You sort of feel this sort of similar change in the atmosphere as the sort of rough hewn natural walls start to become these less organic spaces. They look more like the halls of a cathedral than a cave.
Mm.
And Mike, as you're sort of like whispering these prayers to yourself, you hear behind you, like it sounds like it's coming like from right over your shoulder, an inquisitor.
So I spin, and again, just gun raised, but I don't want to blow Sybil's head off. I assume she's behind me. My hands off the trigger, and I gun with light raised, and I just start reiterating, just every soul is worth saving, every soul is worth saving. And I'm just sort of frantically painting the room with the light.
You're in sort of this larger space, this more open sort of like chamber. You sort of like your like light is flittering around. You can see that there's almost like domed ceiling, and it's they're everywhere. Everywhere you shine your light, every one of these little offshoot tunnels from this large chamber-like space, you see a pair of beady little eyes.
Uh, as in 30, 40, 50.
You're seeing about at least 6.
Okay. So Whitaker just stops and just said, they're all around us. Where's Arthur?
He makes a much finer witch than you.
Well, this doesn't really change anything, but not an ideal situation.
Do you wish? And at this point, you could all hear whichever voice this is. It could be multiple of them. The way it sort of echoes, you could swear there's more speaking and at the same time as you hear the voices all around you say, "Then, Inquisitors, do you wish to parley?" You see
Yeah,
the
we're here for the
children do that.
children. We're here for the children. Maybe, and Arthur, our colleague, can you bring him back to us and tell us what's happened to the children?
What do you offer us in return?
What do you want?
It's a good question, Sybil.
Banana?
A soul for a soul.
You've been taking plenty of those. We're trying to save a couple. Innocent children you took from their homes, their families, crying, in pain now. What did you give them in return? You want us to bargain with you? You just keep stealing. You keep taking. For what?
We take what we can have. We ask to parley out of kindness, not out of some rule. We could smite you where you stand right now.
We wish to parley. We do not want to be smited.
So we reiterate, a soul for a soul.
Show us the kids.
Yeah.
I don't enter into any agreement without seeing the terms and conditions. I read every one of those end user license agreements. You want us to offer up a soul on a promise and a handshake that we'll get something back in return? Show
This
us the
point, you
children.
hear,
Yeah, show us the kids.
you see that one of these creatures finally sort of enters into into the light, and you see he has this long gray beard. You think it's the one that you saw on the camera, Sybil. He looks somehow more ancient than the rest. His fur, instead of this black, is this sort of shining, iridescent oil color. And he sort of looks up at the three of you, considers your faces. And I have to ask, are any of you lying in this situation?
Yes. I mean,
I think you can't suffer these things to live. Yeah.
Sybil has been choosing her words carefully and trying to stay, pardon me, and trying to stay focused on just getting to the kids. That's her sole motivation for being in here and dealing with them. That like I'm not accepting anything, and I also didn't answer whenever they asked like, "Do you want to parlay or not?" I'm just like, "Show me the kids. If you're wanting to make me an offer, then I want to see proof of it." And then I'll improvise.
That's a good point. I mean, Mike hasn't lied, but his intent might be a bit different from what they think.
So this creature sort of looks at the three of you, sort of. It's just like it's pretty far away, sort of from one of these tunnels. Sort of like stepped out into some, like sort of into the like right onto the edges of this sort of large space, and it considers the three of you for a moment, and it turns to the others and says, "They are liars and thieves. Kill the
Fuck
witch
you, you piece of
hunters!"
shit.
And then you see more of these things start to fill in, and there must be 10 of them or more as they start to file into the space, and they are all raising their hands into symbols.
Great.
Everyone roll sand,
All right.
except for Arthur. Everyone in this scene.
22, baby.
See, at the start, I would have done all right. 60 over 51.
86 over 51.
All right, Mike, you lose 6. Luke,
Jesus.
you only lose 1.
Okay, so I
Sybil, you lose 1.
breached a breaking point.
You've also hit 6, so that's fight, flight, or freeze.
Yeah, and I think at this stage fight, he's the old, what seems like the leader's right in front of him. He's got a shotgun with a torchlight on it that's pointed at it. He just unleashes. There's just nothing, and yeah,
All right,
yeah,
so
he's
you're
just
fighting.
lost it. There's no smarts here. It's just visceral.
All right, Luke and Sybil, what are you doing?
Luke will pull up his crowbar.
Yeah.
And yeah, he'll say like, "This is how you treat guests," but he's just holding it at a ready for them to attack him, not going to be violent towards them yet.
Sybil's also going to kind of raise her crowbar and say, "I didn't lie, motherfucker."
Go find Arthur. And far away.
All right, so those of you, so the three of you, we will leave you for a second. Arthur, I think I owe you a sand roll for seeing the first of the creatures that you've seen in person.
I just failed.
You lose 5.
Cool.
That's fight, flight, or freeze, unless you'd like to project.
I think he's going to project onto his sister Louise, who looks just like him. Do I need to roll something for that? Or is it
It's
roll
1d4.
a d4? 4.
All right, so you
I
only
lose
take
1.
1 sand point.
And then I lose 4 willpower, right? Gotcha.
So you manage to, you think of your sister as this thing begins to lead you, and the thing asks, So you draw your power from her?
Oh, from who? From Louise?
The one you think of.
Oh no, I don't draw my power from her. No, my power comes from books. Wait, who? What? All right, where are you leading me? Are you taking me to the children?
You'll see soon enough. As he brings you into this wide open space, this great hall, maybe 100 feet long and 200 feet high. This massive, expansive space. It's filthy and reeks of long dead rot. You see in the center, as it's sort of like this bowl shape, you see it's almost like a lake of human bones. Far, far too many. And sort of spiraling up in the center of the room, there's this large rock in the middle, almost like an island in this ocean. And atop it, you see this grand throne. It's empty currently, but beside it, you see 2 or 3 of these little creatures are running across the keys of this massive pipe organ and just slamming their paws or hands down into it to play this dirge or something, this horrible, discordant sound that echoes all around you.
I feel like I should roll sanity again
Yeah,
for seeing the room and all this stuff going on. But I'm good. Roll a 10.
no sanity loss as you see this horrific space and the creature as it sort of leads you towards the sea of bones and says, "Seek the throne, seek the mistress."
Yeah, I'm gonna like start. Do I have to like climb up the bones? Kind of. Is it like a pile? You said.
It's more like an ocean, like you've got
Let's
to wade
wade
through
through
them.
them. Okay. Yeah, I guess. What else is there for me to do? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna start climbing through the bones toward the throne. Kind of just in a little bit of a stupor. Pull out my
As you
handkerchief.
eventually look back up, you see there is a corpse now on the throne of a woman. This young looking face, except it's rotted and red. This long, flowing black hair that covers her naked form must be 5 or 6 feet of hair. It's almost like this cloak sprouting from her head. And she peers at you with yellow glowing eyes and cocks her head and says, "You wish for knowledge. I offer knowledge unimaginable."
What's the price?
Service.
What does that entail?
He gestures with a long arm, far too long, that ends in long, bony claws to the sea of death around you, and says, "To serve is to feed, is also to kill, but it is also to create."
when I look at the bones, are they like all different ages, all different kinds of bones, or is it specifically like, oh, it's just a whole bunch of humeruses, or like this
It
is
is a pile of skeletons. You guess from the size, mostly children.
you know what, I'm gonna. I have always hated kids. You know what?
The truth too.
I think we may have a goddamn deal.
The thing rises from its throne and begins to approach. These massive clawed hands sort of grab your face in this almost embrace, and the thing opens its mouth. It unhinges, and I need you to roll sand.
Failure.
That's 15. And I think we'll leave you there as Arthur, you simply begin to scream.
Ah!
Everyone else, I need a power roll right now.
8. Fuck.
65 under 70.
77 over 55.
Oof.
54 under 60.
All right. The other two of you beat their power roll. Luke very much does not.
Fair.
Luke, how does not? So, Luke, you begin to feel this horrific burning as you look down to your hands and they begin to wither and desiccate before your eyes as this long, horrible gray and black, just shriveling of your fingers, this horrible desiccation begins to spread up your arms. How does not so lose 9 point HP?
Okay. Okay. I'm still alive.
Uh,
Not by much, but
H, is your HP above 2?
it is at 3. So
You are still conscious.
yeah, I mean, I imagine he bowls over, drops the crowbar on the ground as this thing spreads, and is just screaming and spot kicking the walls, and like almost like trying to flip himself in circles, like not even realizing it as he's being withered.
You scream in this horrible agony. You can also roll sand for that.
Oh,
Um,
assume it's just a failure, but sure, yeah. Well, 30, so I made the
You'll
sand
lose-
roll at least.
lose 1
Yeah.
point.
Okay.
These things sort of, as you fall to the ground, 2 or 3 of them begin to approach you, Luke. Mike, you are just firing wildly into these things. So I need you to make a firearms minus 40, minus 20 because you are currently insane, and minus 20 because they are small and very fast.
I've only got 40, so I'm not that really a good shooter. So
So you are just firing wildly as these things are trying to jump on you.
Sunday school's in, and yeah,
Sybil,
so I would like to though. Can we yell out like let's
yeah, you can scream.
let's run to Arthur. Let's
Yeah.
and
You can't be
yeah,
running anywhere currently, Mike. You are currently in the throes of firing
Red-
deep into these things.
Red mist. Okay.
Sybil, you it sounds like you're sort of like raising up this crowbar, waiting for these things to attack you, and they and the oldest one sort of turns to look and say, "So you do wish to parlay?"
I'm really torn because Sybil is more freaking out at seeing what just happened to Luke. That there was that moment of waiting for them to try and swarm. She was going to try to hit him like a golf club with a crowbar. But then Luke just went on the ground screaming, seeing his arms go. And now this one is trying to talk with me. I really think that she is mostly just going to see Luke go down and try to kind of scoop him up and just take off running, getting him out of this immediate danger, since he's the only one that she actually has a history with and working with in the past. And I think that she is just going to try to scoop Luke and then run into the dark, just using her headlamp kind of as far and fast as she can, leaving Mike behind. But I don't think that she is of the presence of mind to respond appropriately to Senor Monkey Wizard.
Give me a this will be a strength roll opposed with the creatures to that are currently swarming Luke's fallen body.
45, baby. I will turn my camera down. That is an 11. God damn it.
You
Let's
run
go.
over and you grab Luke and you yank him, and as like one of these things is still like crawling on him, Luke, you are still screaming in agony, but you are conscious enough to realize what's happening and try to follow along with your running legs.
Ooh, they're grabbing onto his fingers and some of them kind of strip away.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
You can now Luke, you have your turn.
What can I do? I mean,
There's the thing currently on you, and you are so if you'd like to just run, you can make me a dodge, make me a dodge roll, or you could try to, or if you want to try to kick this thing off of you, you can make me unarmed combat, whatever.
yeah, I'll try to kick it off of me, and
All right?
like I'll try to pull it off of me with my arms and my legs, almost in
Yeah.
the same fit that I'm having from being consumed or withered here.
I'll give you
like maybe
I'll
as
also
we're
give you a
running,
+20 because of Sybil's crit.
Okay, thank you,
like
Sybil.
maybe as we're running, you kind of like slam your shoulder into the wall or something to knock it off of you.
Yeah, absolutely. 56 under 60, which would be what, plus 27 or
All
80.
right, so you managed
yeah.
to like yank this thing off and like slam it against the wall, and you hear a crunch.
Yeah, can I give its face like a
Yeah, you
press as
smear
I'm
the far too human face against the stone wall
yeah.
as you run, and you all both hear this pitter patter behind you as what must be 16 or more of these things begin to follow you like a sea of rats.
Do I have the presence of mind to take a hand into the tool bag and throw some of those screws and nails out behind me to see if it can slow them down at all?
Sure. Give me a. I guess it'll be what is that? Give me a. I'll just call it a luck roll because it's just sort of like, are they going to step on them or not?
Yeah, exactly. Like it's not like we made actual caltrops. That is an odd 6.
All right, so the things start to like one of their hands like pierces through this long nail that goes up its hand, and you hear this far too human scream come from it. Mike, you are firing wildly. I'm just gonna go ahead and roll for them.
At a certain point, you may want to use the
Get
shotgun
back.
like a club.
That
Get
is
back.
a 20 for them, and you've spent your turn firing wildly. So that is gonna be. Let me grab my dice here. As all of these things are attacking you at once.
He's
That's
Sorry,
just,
Mike.
15. I don't imagine you survive 15 points of damage.
he's just at the end. He's just sprouting. We are shepherds. I wear the armor of God.
They
I will
take
be redeemed.
as you chant these religious mantras. The creatures take extra delight in carrying out your
Oh man.
I crawled to the bag with the terps and the rest in it, but it's too late. I've only got 13 hit points and they're all gone. And last thing he says, he calls out his wife's name. He goes, Sarah, forgive me. And dies
Mhm.
on the cold stone floor.
You don't have a grenade you can just pull the
You
pin on real quick and
No, he's not that much of a Rambo.
you scream Sarah's name, and just before the light leaves your eyes, you hear her voice say, "You made the wrong choice."
And then he realizes he's got children too.
Sybil, Luke, I need an 8 x 5 roll from both of you.
Okay.
See if you remember your way back.
006 for me.
Fuck yeah, 54 from me.
All right, so you are running as these sea of things chase after you, screaming, and I need a power roll from each of you.
No. Yes.
22. My dice are on fucking fire right now. They know we're in fight or
44.
flight.
44.
Yeah,
Nice.
critical success as well. So
Let me check your power.
55 is my pal. So. Oh, checking theirs.
Sybil, they have a POW of 85 and rolled an 84, which will overpower your POW roll.
Does it if I rolled a crit success?
You also crit? Sorry,
I rolled a 22. Yeah, my dice
Oh,
are on.
sorry,
I
I
will
didn't
turn
hear
my
that.
webcam down. Like I am not lying at all.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, no. You like you hear these things whispering in your mind, give him to us, give him to us. But you just barely, but you push it out. As these things try to control your mind as you hit the pitch black wall that you remember and start, I imagine, frantically tracing.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's a case that, like, with Luke's withered hands, he knows the symbols better than I do. So I have to, like, hold his hand and support it as you're tracing around for the both of us to get out.
Yeah. Disgusting.
And you fall back into the Garrettson mansion.
Fuck.
Unit 35 around you.
I have
And both of you make me dodge rolls.
Oh, God.
Jesus. Dodge is 50. 25.
82 over 50.
All right. You are so Sybil, as you sort of like you fall down onto the ground, you try to pick Luke up and start to move. As the two of you try to move through Unit 35. But that's when the chandelier I mentioned earlier comes crashing down from above you. Sybil, you are just out of the way, but Luke, you take 4 points of damage.
Yeah, but Luke's dead, but can Luke actually push Sybil out of the way?
Absolutely.
Nice.
Just like push you as hard as I can, and then chandelier just crushes me. Yeah.
Just falls on, yeah, you, one of these like crystal lights pierces through your heart and through your neck. It's all just covered in shattered glass and bleeding out on the floor.
Yeah, as he's bleeding out, his last thoughts are regrets that we didn't even find the children, and that's what he's left with as he loses his life.
I think your vision kind of blurs as Sybil turns around. You get that very movie moment shriek of like, Luke, as this crumbles. You're kind of just hanging on. I try to pull you out and can see that part of the chandelier is in your chest, so it's just making the wound worse. Kind of like patting it, trying to get you, and I just eventually see that your eyes just glass over as I'm tugging at your shirt. I can feel your Zippo lighter in your shirt pocket. I'm going to grab that lighter out, and assuming we still had those bags of like duffels of turpentine or whatever, just going to immediately slam those on the ground, flick your lighter, and toss it to start burning the house down with me inside of it.
You sort of move around the house, light in hand, this as you see the flames reaching around you. You hear you wish to see them, did you not?
At this point, with looking at Luke's body next to me, all I can say is burn in hell. And I turn around to leave.
Mm-hmm. So you turn around, you start to walk out, which means that you don't see the creature with the child behind it, bound in horrid, rope burned rags. But you do hear as the child cries behind you. You begin to move out of the room. And I assume that was a sand roll that you just made?
Yeah. I passed the sand roll, but I think that in this moment, she has kind of hit that mental capacity limit and is just like trying to escape because this seems truly hopeless and futile. And hearing that child cry that I failed them, that I abandoned them, is going to haunt me for the rest of my life.
Yeah. With that failure, you're going to lose one.
It was a pass, but I am still going to lose
yeah,
one.
Well, with the pass, it's a one.
Yeah, it's going to put me right at my breaking point level.
Mm-hmm. You stumble out of the Garrison mansion, trying not to inhale the smoke. You fall on the ground, and you assumedly you sort of like scramble off to the van.
Yeah, just getting in the van and driving away.
You crawl into the seat, and there's a little stuffed bear there, ratty and rotten, sitting in the front seat.
Motherfuckers. Knock it to the side. Try to start the engine.
And Sybil, you speed away from the Garrison mansion, and that is where we're going to leave from the dust.
We did
Successful operation.
Delta Green's finest, everybody.
Yep.
Nailed it.
Contained. Problem solved.
Solved brum probed.
Yes.
But our team high fives around.
Yeah, it was a good time.
So yes, any questions? This is I like this scenario a lot. It's not perfect. So basically the main changes I make to this scenario to sort of reanimate it is basically there's a lot of information in the initial briefing that I let you find through your own discovery. So like most of that stuff that you had sort of that like basically all the stuff about the sewers is sort of usually in just sort of like the police documents. But like you finding it, it's more interesting if you find it on your own, you know.
Totally.
But like, so basically, these are correct. These are familiars. If you've read Lovecraft, you'd be familiar with Brown Jenkins, the creature from the Witch House. This is all set around also the horror at Red Hook. Robert Sidum, the leader of this cult that kidnaps children, serving in this case an avatar of a Shum Nijorath by the name of Lilith. That is the thing that Arthur has struck a deal with.
I'm looking at the eat kids, you know.
As written, it's a weird. This is the other weird thing about this scenario is that like it's an implied sexual assault because the Lilith thing wants a kid. But that's not what I just totally ripped that out. You know, you just have a weird blackout scene with it.
I'm really stuck in the narrative right now, and I have to imagine that, eventually Sybil kind of pours herself into her work. She officially like full DG working with Joe DeWant and everything. And as she keeps looking into stuff related to this mansion, maybe out of the corner of her eye on her monitor, there's like security camera feeds or something. And she sees a withered Arthur's face, like as the monkey or something that looks at her in the camera.
Yeah, Arthur becomes one of these little witch familiars. But yeah, but basically, what the things want is because the horror at Red Hook happens, their cult, like the cult of Lilith, had sort of Robert Sidum's cult dissolves at the end of that scenario. So what they're trying to do is basically continue on the cult but they don't have any cultists. Is the problem? So they've been trying. So like with the construction workers and now you all, they've been trying to basically replenish their supply of witches, which is what they have done with Arthur. So the thing is, you can win this arrow just by so there's two of those little portals. One of them is the one you find in the mansion. The other one is, and you'd sort of gotten this lead, but you never checked it out. There is the nearest sewer entrance to the house also has one in it. And to win this arrow, you have to destroy both of the panels.
Oh, okay.
And that's it. Like you never have to go inside. You just have to deface the little panels, and you're good. But
you can't find the kids that way, or can you find the kids at all?
You can find the kid. Yeah, the kids are in the interdimensional space. You just when they offered to show it to you, you were all lying, and they can read surface, and all the creatures can read surface spots, so they know if you're lying or not.
Brutal. Okay.
And there's 20 of them, and they all have withering and infallible suggestion, and many other spells. Yeah, you cannot fight these things. They will kill you if they want to.
Awesome.
Yeah. Any so we do want to do like stars and wishes for the overall scenario.
Yeah. Star.
My star, I think, goes to. Well, my first star goes to Arthur's allergies. That was all. That was consistently funny. And generally, just sort of Sybil was like, "No, we're gonna save the kids. We're gonna save the kids, right? We're gonna save the kids." You did not save the kids,
and that was the one thing I did not do.
Yeah. Luke I think Luke really helped keep the team grounded in this scenario. Like Luke was almost like playing the role of straight man to the rest of these characters, like always like, all right, here's the logical thing to do. And then, well, logic does not work in this scenario very much. And I did like Mike feeling like the only one who's actually like a real Delta Green agent. It was very fun. But, I do have to really say, like, Arthur going like, no, I'm going to be a fucking witch at the end of this. Like,
yeah, my star 100% goes to Chance for I've always fucking hated kids. Yes, that was the line to go into full witchcraft.
Yes. It's one of his motivations. Kids are rotten little bastards.
Oh, great.
Had we known. So.
Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, my star, I really like the moment, especially in that session with Mike, like praying or doing the
Mhm.
Lord's Prayer under his breath, and then that outing us and kind of being the catalyst of all of our deaths, well, except
Mhm.
for Sybil. That was super cool. So,
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
surprisingly,
Really
the witch things don't like Jesus very much.
yes.
Well,
Yeah.
that's one of his motivations. He's one of my Jesus is one of my bonds.
Just
Nice.
don't ask him to take the wheel.
Mm,
Oh,
Uh, yeah, one of
And
my, I think my star, I think would just be for Xander, because you're so descriptive and like I had a good picture in my mind for throughout most of this scenario. Like I could see what was going on.
Mhm. Thank you.
another star for that too. I think you were really great with keeping us on our toes with these weird hectic manifestations and like the pitter patters here, the tugging at the seat there, that it felt like the monkey dudes were not playing by typical movie monster rules, that they are actively listening, they are kind of eavesdropping in on present conversations. They're not only being mischievous, but like whenever it actually tugged on Mike's pants and it's just like, here I am, dude, that was very unexpected, because you typically don't, you like, yeah, and you don't expect them to just like, okay, I'm here, what's up? And it was clear that we were entering into their house. That did not end well for us.
Mm. Yeah, I love playing these little bastards. They're so fun. And that's it. There's 20 of them. They can listen. They can be literally anywhere in the house at any time. They know exactly what you're doing the whole time. They can read your thoughts. There is no corner of your heart these things cannot turn over. And like they can't, like as you saw like near the end, they can start like interacting with like your bonds. They can start saying their names, like making you think of them. Like they can imitate them. Like these things just are awful little bastards that will do anything to get what they want.
And for me, the stars, I really and I think everyone did this really well. Like Sybil, Lex, you had the vaping, the and the pause, but just bringing a bit more character into and using the video, and Xander, particularly when you had those little bastards and you'd really lean in and use the camera, and it made it quite menacing and creepy. And I think just using what we had in front of us was really impressive. Everyone really dove into that.
Yeah, it was a lot of good in character stuff. So,
Yeah, I really appreciated it.
Yeah, it's great.
Um, yeah, if we had a little bit more, if we hadn't had that big break in the middle, like like so I had so I started to I gave Gomez the information of the panel. Technically, he's not supposed to know about that. Like really, they're like sort of. It's sort of weird how the scenario set up. The scenario set up like it expects you to basically go straight to a house, interact with all the construction workers, and basically have to like go through their like if you went and you could do this if you wanted to play it like a longer version of this. Like you have to sort of like figure out which of the construction workers knows what. And eventually one of them will lead you to the panel where you can get inside. And at that time, you'd be sort of like interacting with the rat things or running around. But since we had like that could have been like a whole session in itself. But since we only had like the one session, or since we only had like the like one or two sessions after you got to the house, that was sort of and we spent most of that in this one night that sort of aspect of the scenario sort of fell a little to the wayside. But I'm fine with that, but also it's one of the things like I would like to eventually do like a run of the scenario that does actually go like the full 4 sessions where like you're able to like where I'm able to like really sort of like bounce them around the house, let it feel a bit more in the possibly like a little more night floorsy where you have like a little bit more time with it, but
Mm-hmm.
like that's sort of my weird like that's where I think this scenario really comes in. It's like if you want to run night floors, but you don't want to run impossible landscape, just run from the dust. You get a lot of similar vibes. Not you don't have the same surreal horror of it all, but you can still get like a good like weird house horror kind of vibe with it.
Yeah, I think that was, in terms of wishes, I I totally understand why the scenario kind of went the way that it did. Just because, in the interest of time, we're trying to get this through in a couple of sessions. I do kind of wish that we had more opportunity to explore the mansion some more, because I feel like there were a lot more interesting rooms and locations that you could have
Yeah.
covered. Like, I really wanted to go up into the rafters because I thought there would be something spooky in there for us to see after they did the little hanging nooses. And yeah, I think that that's a really good insight, that if someone wants to run just night floors, but maybe their group has already played IL and you're just wanting a similar vibe, this could definitely deliver on that. That I would have enjoyed getting to explore it more, because I love slow burn horror and stuff like that.
Mm. Any other
I think
wishes from our
the wishes for the scenario for me, and it's interesting you mentioned the night floors, but I quite like the idea of exploring the other world a bit more.
Mm.
Maybe because poor Mike broke. I mean, I'd lost 15, 16 sanity by that stage. I just failed so many times. Um, Maybe it would have had more of a chance. It would have been nice to, not nice, it would have been interesting to be separated and more lost in that world. I thought it was really good how you were flipping back with Arthur and us. Um, yeah, I would have liked to have seen a bit more before things went a bit ballistic.
Yeah, I will say, as far as like in the weird world, they basically got all of it. There was like the only other thing you could find down there was the kids, but like it'd be like the vibe of being lost. There could have been a little bit more of, because, but like y'all were very smart. Like, we are, I'm going to stand here until the next person comes out, and like, like
Yeah, I
I
was
can't really
ready
stop
for
you
y'all
from
to
that.
keep going and Sybil would just be alone in the dark with that. Uh, that was interesting. I do wonder if the scenario has so many roots with like related to Dreams in the Witch House or Red Hook and all of that. Do you think that those could be seeds for some rooms and environments that people could encounter? Like, that they mentioned that the organ is here, but, of certain rooms from the church or certain places that, as we're kind of exploring this dark environment, it'll
Oh,
feel
that's
kind
it.
of like we're going between locations to, I don't know. If you have players that are
Yeah,
familiar with this, it could be a fun little
yeah.
Leo
You like,
pointing.
basically it's like, you could maybe like steal from like some of like the basement of like the fates, the club apocalypse, 'cause that also has some Red Hook ties.
Mm.
Specifically, like there's like the chant Gorgo Mormo Thousand Faced Moon comes up with the fate a bit.
Hmm.
So you could probably steal like a little bit of that for inspiration for that dark space as well. um yeah, I agree there. Any wishes from Luke or for Nick or Chance?
I mean, it's hard. I've never read it or had no other context. So, I mean, I guess, similar, like a little more time in the house would have been cool. Um, and then, yeah, encountering the actual organ or something like on our
Yeah,
side. I know Arthur got to, but
yeah.
because that was like one of the biggest through lines. So, but yeah, it's hard to know exactly. So, without reading it.
Mhm. Yeah, it's really weird because the house itself has very little description of it. Like, but there's let me check. Let me see how many pages are dedicated to just like the construction workers. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 12 full pages of just like just detailing the construction workers, and then there's like nothing on like the actual house itself.
I'm
There's,
shocked. No,
yeah,
I'm
no,
completely stunned.
yeah. There isn't even a fucking map. Yeah.
PG. So,
Um, I think my only real wish is just that our scheduling had not been so insane.
sure.
Yeah.
But I love playing with everybody, and it was a good time. I enjoyed it. So I don't have much in the way of criticisms.
All right, and I think that will about wrap us up then. Thank you all for playing. As I said, this scenario is very far from perfect, but it's one that it's like This is one of the ones that I think a lot of people like really overlook because it can be really fun if you like know what you're doing with it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you never really got to go to the green box that was
There
mentioned
was a
in the
green box?
briefing. Yeah, they're mentioned in the briefing. Yeah, there is like, hey, if you find anything weird, send it over here
Oh
in
yeah,
the storage
yeah.
unit.
Oh.
There's a lot of there's a bunch of heavy firearms, and there's a statue that if you touch it at night, summons a Bayaki to come murder everyone.
Isn't that
It's really
fun?
funny to describe because like it's in like it's a big ass statue like in a Home Depot bucket with red spray painted on it. Do not touch.
It's great.
That one when I ran this with some newer players, guess what someone did, and that sort of ended it ended an agent's life early and sort of really like made the scenario go way like they were just like they fucking like were like Bloomfeld's absolutely the cult leader, right? So we gotta go like they tried to like kidnap Bloomfeld in front of a bunch of police officers. So everyone went to jail or dead at the end of that one.
Well, this was a ton of
Yeah.
fun. Thank you for running, Xander. I've heard a lot about this scenario and excited to actually been able to go through it. It was really interesting, and this was a great time. So if you are noting that it had some issues as written, I'll need to read it to really appreciate the changes that were made because this felt very streamlined and a fun investigation. I had a great time. I hope y'all had a great time playing as well, and I would be remiss as a podcast host if I didn't say, and I hope that if anyone is still watching, that you enjoyed watching this playthrough of From the Dust. And we'll definitely have to cover this for a dissection and reanimation sometime. Besides that, thanks for listening to another RPG Reanimators. It's a live actual play. And we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to check out the RPG Reanimators podcast for horror scenario reviews, interviews, gaming discussions, and more.